Hey guys, welcome to another episode of All Bass Creations, Effects, Tutorials, Demos, and Reviews. Today we have up the Zoom B6, which is an amazing multi-effects bass process. I can't talk today for some reason, but it's an amazing piece of gear. So let's go ahead and get right into it. As you can see, right now I have up the tuner. You know, you start with a nice tune up at the beginning of every practice and gig. You should. So this is very nice tuner. You actually get two different styles of tuner on here as well. I'll show you the other one in 1 second. Woo. Sorry about that. I had my mid-range cut. Bam. So you also have this tuner. Depends on which style you like. I prefer this. Alright, so let's get into the layout here. You got your input select up here. You have two inputs in the back. They also have a switch for if you have if you're using an upright and you got the pickups for upright or acoustic instrument. It has a switch for that for each input, and you can literally switch between the two with the click of a foot switch, which is awesome. You also get a XLR out for ground and lift, which is amazing for recording purposes. Then you also have an amp out, which is just a 1/4 inch out. You know, you run that straight to your amp, or you can use that as your recording out, or wherever you want to route that to. On the back of it, you also have a USB, so you can use it as an audio interface. You also have it, you can use it as an SD card reader too, because there's an SD card slot to expand your looper and your space for impulse responses. We'll get to those later. And takes your looper time up to 2 hours per loop. So you can loop for up to 2 hours before you start overdubbing, which is crazy. As well as, allows you to have about, I think it's 256 slots for loops. So you can have a ton of them saved and all that stuff. Or you can upload them externally, onto the SD card and use them on a looper, WAV files, basically. You have a control in for an external expression pedal. You have a in for the little chip to Bluetooth adapter is what it's called, and it only works with iPhone. That's just a heads up. What else you have? Yeah, that's pretty much everything that's on the back, and it's also an auxiliary in on the back as well. That's also pretty important for practicing purposes. Your amp in doubles as your headphone. Your amp out doubles as your headphone. You also have an effects loop in the back, send and return, which is amazing because you can put that anywhere in your effects loop. All right, so let's get to some sounds. This is my bass dry. You got your bypass switch down here, which is awesome. You got 4 different types of DIs. So I just bypassed all of them. That's my bass dry with just the tube 1. And as you can see, it definitely adds some characteristic to it. This one, tube 2. Solid state 1. And solid state 2. And as you can see, solid state 2 is my favorite, and tube 2 is my second favorite. In terms of dry bass sounds, for synths, I like tube 1 and solid state 1 for synth stuff. Depends on what it is. So let's start going through some effects. As you can see, I have a bunch of presets done for you all. I'm not going to go through any of the factory presets because all the ones that I went through, I've tweaked and done different things for, and I put them all together for you guys. So here's my first gig board here. If you want a basic gig board, what it is a bass octave down, bass shift octave down. It's another pitch shift up 1 octave, envelope filter, and a bass stereo chorus. So little octave down for you guys. You know, you throw that on with some envelope filter. Little stereo chorus with that. Alright, or you can have the octave up with it. So, you know, you got options there. Just with that one little pedal board setting, if you just want to have some pedals that you, you know, right there for you. Right? Nice sounding envelope filter. Chorus. Oh, you know, it's very nice. Very nice clear chorus there, you know. So let's go to my next preset here. All right, on this one, I already have the compressor on, and this is the menus here to get to edit things a little easier. You just press. A lot of these up here are redundant. If you just press edit all, you can get to all of those features from here. So those are my compressor settings. This is my bass without the compressor, just the DI. Right, with the compressor. Right, and I purposely have it set up like that and sounding like that to press the highs a little more. All right, so now we starting to get into, that's the D fret. I'm sorry, that wasn't the compressor. Damn it. This is the compressor by itself. Right, bass dry. Right, with the compressor. Right, with the D fretter. So, bam, that's the D fretter. Another envelope filter setting. Got gotta have an envelope filter on my pedal board there. This is a phaser. With the envelope filter. Alright, then you can add the preamp on there, another preamp, the super low one, which actually has an octave down as well, but I'm not using it right here. I'll bring in the sub just to. So yeah, I like that preamp a lot as well. And I can always go into the settings and just add the octave down if I wanted to use it. So awesome pedal there. All right, let's move on, because like I said, this is my gig board, and what I have it set up as, the compressor always stays on, and then these four are set to these four settings, and as you can see, the colors respond to the pedal. And the bigger pedals all have two pages. That's how you know which ones have extensive settings on them. They'll be bigger than the rest, and they also take up more processing power than the rest. Let's go through this menu real quick. Take a pause for the calls. This is where you set up your send and your return, how you use IRs, how you import IRs, how you switch all your memory banks and patches around, all that good stuff. And this is touch screen, beautiful touch screen as well, beautiful colors. All your other settings can be reached through here. Bam, all that stuff. So let's go back. You also have a global EQ I haven't said anything about yet. So you also have access to that by when you're on this page or any other page except for these. When you're on the settings page, these knobs correspond to the ones on the screen. When it's like this, these correspond to the global EQ. So you're actually getting more effects at once than you really think. You're getting the DI effect plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the global EQ effect. So, that's 7 effects all at once. Not even including the looper and everything else you could be doing with that while you have all this running and doing all this stuff. So it's an amazing piece of gear for studio and live stuff. Just keep the camera, sorry guys. So let's get to this Aguilar, this bass dry. Alright, and throw on that Aguilar amp. limiter. Right, beautiful sounds. Those are my settings. Bam. Settings for my limiters and compressors, I usually set up the same on most patches. This is my Aguilar slap. Let's get the everything by itself. I mean, well, bass by itself. Right. Alright, then we add the limiter. That's the settings for the ampeg. And the trick with the ampeg to get it clean is to keep that gain really low. And then on the back end, put a limiter on it. Yeah, see now you got some real power. You got some real power up on that thing. Right? Without the ampeg. Which sounds exactly like an ampeg too. That's fire right there. That's fire. Another ampeg setting. Let's add the envelope filter. And of course, if you want to change your settings and different things like that, you come here. You can just slide stuff over. Bam. You slide it over here. Bam. You slide it over there. Bam. You know. Just want to try different stuff out, different places. It's really convenient in terms of like on regular pedal boards, you'd have to be switching around cables and pedals and stuff. There, you just slide it, bam. Just slide it here, bam. Slide it there, bam. You know, you slide it. Stupid ampeggy, if that's even a thing. Yeah, different. Fire. Let me go and show you guys a few of my settings for that. Bam. That's the setting for the ampeg. That's the settings for the exciter. The exciter, you can just put it on and it colors some sound. Same thing with the, that's just a echo. And envelope filter. Bass compressor. There's a multi-band compressor. This is my favorite compressor on here, the MB compressor, multi-band compressor. It does the highs and the lows separately. Just like similar to my Spectra comp, but my Spectra comp is a 3-band. So I do like that one more, but in terms of just needing something for the gig, that'll get you through just fine. This is um, perfectly good compressor, and the limiter is really good too as well. So this is my Trace Elliot. This is my bass without. All right. This black op compressor. All right. This is my settings for that. So I like that little compressor too, but not as much as the other one. Right, and this is Trace Elliot on finger style. You can also put it on slap. All right, you can also put it on pick style. So, bam, then you get the rest of that. And then you can also shape it. Shape it again. I tend to keep it on finger style. Right? And then you got also have the IR. This is the 410 Trace Elliot cabinet IR, the room one. So you get the point, and if you turn on the slap, and of course you can edit these as well if I needed more highs. If I wanted to balance it. If I want it on this side more. So you can get it wherever you need it in between there and those different settings, This is another one of my settings. All of these are my settings, but this one, let's break this one apart a little bit. So this is another preamp on here I like a lot. This is actually a mic preamp, but it's so transparent. It sounds so good. I personally love it. This is my bass without it. With it. Sounds so clean and it doesn't. It's so transparent. I like it a lot. This is probably top 2-3 preamps on here for me. My limiter settings. That sounds ready to record and go. That's what I was saying. You don't need nothing else to do recordings with. It's so clear. You know, so that sounds perfect for tapping and stuff. You know, if I wanted to do. You know, whatever I want to do, it's perfect setting for that. This is another SVT setting for you. Mm-mm. And of course, like I said, now I added two of my favorites: that preamp and the ampeg, and I also added my favorite compressor. So I got all three of my favorites here. Here's my settings. That's for the preamp, pre 1073. Here's my settings for the clean ampeg slap sound. Dang it. Sorry about that, guys. Turn it back on. You see some of my other pedals over there. And my awesome rug and the mixing rug in the background. So that's the SVT settings, and here's my compressor settings again. So these should get you close to this sound, because that's the sound I use for slapping and recording. That's my sound right there. And just for a comparison, this is the B3. You know, do a quick size comparison. So as you can see, it's not too much bigger than the B3, but it weighs more. This weighs, let me see. Oh, this weighs about 6 pounds, 5-6 pounds. Oh, sorry about that, guys. 5-6 pounds, while this weighs about 4 pounds. Very small. It's about the size of my 16-inch MacBook Pro, folded flat. I can fit it in my laptop, backpack, and all that stuff. What else can I say about this thing? Of course, the touchscreen is ridiculous. You know, you also have modes you can use. I'll show you different player modes. I'll show you the other two in a second. I showed you the looper already. Oh, no, I didn't. So let's go to the looper. Right, so the looper, straightforward. And I'm gonna show you guys some more sounds. Don't worry, I'm just gonna explain this looper real quick. So you got a bunch of different settings. If you have an SD card, it'll show up there. Then you just press it, and if you have anything saved, that's how you get to it, by pressing the SD card. You get your looper settings, your fade out, post effects, pre effects, mono or stereo. I don't think those apply here. You got your volume, all that stuff. So let's just do, if you want to access your rhythms, you can come here and see tap tempo. Come back to your looper. Overdubs as you need to, and then you just go ahead and play over. Come over here to the memory, right? And you can have 4 different sounds set up. So you can have your bass sound, you could, your lighter sound for your chords, and then have a lead sound or something else. So switch to another sound. Turn it off. Grooving. Ready and. Fades right out. So that's the looper in a nutshell there. If you wanted to stop instantly, you can press this twice, or you can have it set in here so it'll stop instantly, or finish the loop and then stop. And of course, if I want to recall it, I can just come back here and go to another loop. So it gives you a lot of options. If I want to go back to that loop, mind you, I'm not even saving these. Like, they automatically save like that, so I can go back and delete and do stuff like that if I want to. Let me see. And you can recall loop, save loop, delete them, all that stuff. So, let's get back to this memory mode. The memory mode is basically your banks, but in display. And so instead of these controlling individual effects, they'll control different synths. Different patches. So I can have mine set up for, like, say, my finger style. Then have one set up for my slap and pop. Then I can have another one set up for my synth. Then I have another one set up for another synth. So, you know, that's just something I have already set up in here as a little, you know, demo. But even when I go to B, which is another patch section, same thing. You can press 1, 2, 3, and it switches with you. And the other mode you can play in is this one, where you can switch banks with these two. And you can also switch patches, individual patches like that. So say I wanted to go here and I didn't want to change right away. I just wanted, like, my bass down is still the same. But then I get to C, press enter, bam. I want to get to the settings, bam. Can I click on that? Why is that there? I guess just let me know I had a backing track holding. So these are some of my synth settings. Bam. Bam. As I said, the bigger effects have 2 pages. This is the filter effect settings. Bass, stereo chorus settings. And my limiter settings. And stuff like this, I might prefer to have it on tube 1, DI. Yeah. You know, that's what I'm talking about. Like, you want to basically be able to, you know, add that thickness or that tube sound. So even after you create the sound, you still can add more texture with the DI, and as well as the global EQ out. Say I didn't want all that, the highs going out like that. You know, or accentuate the highs. So it just depends on what you want. You still always have those 2 additional options on top of the sounds you have to, you know, continually sculpt the sound. So let's go to a harmony pedal. My harmony synth, limiter setting, synth settings. Harmonizing pedal settings. And splitter. And a delay. So now I go to my bubble synth. And I remind you guys, none of these are the factory presets. They might have the same names, but I've already tweaked them and added different effects and done so much tweaking they sound nothing like the preset. So let's go back to this mode, and you can reassign these foot switches as you would like, and you know, you see it changes colors with it. You can have up to 4 of them assigned at a time. So have them assigned to something you need to change on and off, versus compressor or limiter you usually can leave on the whole time. So that shouldn't need a pedal slot to go on and off. It's just going to be on all the time in this particular patch. If you don't want it on, you just create another patch with it not on, I guess. I'm not sure. But you can't have everything all at once. Like, you know, that's any pedal. So these are the pedals I'm using for this sound. Oh yeah, lock my settings out. Bam. Oh, let me take it off of here. And as you see, the lights change. That's pretty cool with it. Then it. Into a crybaby. Right? This is what the synth sounds like by itself. Adding Z-Tron, which is the envelope filter. Right? Crybaby. You know, so it gets pretty dirty pretty fast. Unlimited booster signal and caps it off. So as you can see, you gotta adjust a lot of these levels to get it to sit just right in order to get what you want out of it. So here's a SWR preset. Right, here's my bass without the effects. That's just the DI with the effects. So as you can see, you get very nice SWR slapper there. Here's my SWR settings. Hope y'all got all that. Let's see. And exciter settings. That's the two main things working there. I got a compressor in the beginning, multi-band compressor in the beginning, and the limiter at the end. Here's the Aguilar, nice little Aguilar, which you kind of heard on the loop already. And here's just the preamp, the solid. Right, with the turmoil. Very subtle. That's the turmoil. It's the solid pre. And Aguilar settings. So as you can see, it gets that real Aguilar. It sounds really very much like an Aguilar. Here's with the cabinet, which I don't recommend using cab sims and IRs with your bass amp. It's gonna sound real muddy and trashy. Just use the amp heads and preamps, I guess, and then use the cab sims and IRs for when you do recordings. much get that Aguilar sound without the turmoil. So very nice, clean, sounds there. Another I think I already did this one. Yep. Let's keep going with the synths. Another one of my favorite synths. Like I said, they're definitely adding these different little synth portions definitely help. These are synth settings for that. Here's the Avalon emulation they have, which I love, by the way. Here's the detune on that. And here's the bright room, setting. So what I do here is I break this, bass flat. Bass. With the synth pedal. Avalon. That's with the Avalon on. You see it has a lot more warmth to it, and it also has the high cut on, so it's going to cut that top in. Detune. You get a detune by itself. Alright, and in the room. Without it. With it. So it's just real subtle with the room. Right? So, I'm giving you guys some of the game here. I'm giving you a lot of my little secrets here. These are my secret personal presets for Zoom stuff, because a lot of these settings can apply to MS60B and B3 and B3N, so definitely y'all know I use the MS60B and the MS50G, so definitely I love the Zoom pedals for sure. Here's another one of my synths. So as you can see, it's amazing pedal, like especially if you want to do ghost notes with that flanger on there. Whatever you want to do. Right, with the pre. Another one of my synth sounds. And that's with the octaver on there. So, you know, it just depends on what you want. If you don't want the octaver, you can take it off. And use that sound and just adjust the volumes, you know. But, damn. And I'll go through my settings on that real quick. Here's the synth pedal. Chorus. Limiter settings. Yeah. So, next synth. Just have a distortion and a synth pedal on this one. Distortion pedal by itself with the limiter. Maybe do like 2. You just get that little synth sound going there, like that. So, you know, you get the point. So, let's go through a few more amps. All right, so this is the Fender Bassman amp by itself. Settings. There's your settings on that one. Alright. And add a little EP stomp. Alright. Cab emulation. Just so you can see the settings. You know, you see you got different mic settings here. You know, for basically everything balanced as well between the head and cabinet out. And then you got, this is the IR for that of the MS 57, SM 57. Need more highs. Lows. mix it in a little bit. Alright, so like I said, I prefer not to use ours. The way I'm recording this is with a Zoom H5 with a direct out from the pedal, as well as you'll hear a bit from the talkback mic. But it's mostly the DI from the pedal board and a little bit of the bass cabinet and talkback mic. So you should be getting a pretty good representation of the sound of the pedal board as well as what it sounds like coming through your amp. Hopefully you get a mixture of the two and it's coming through for you. But yeah, here's an acoustic amp. Alright. This is without it. With it. Let me turn the gain up on this. So it's more of like a distorted acoustic sound, you know. It's not really like that Jocko acoustic sound. It's more of like the rock acoustic bass amp sound. So nice warm sound to it though, especially with a nice tube DI on it. It's definitely kicking some butt there. This splitter compressor. Actually, I think this is an EQ. It's just you just pick which frequency you want it to, you know, the crossover point to be between these lows and these high signal. But I prefer, you know, to be able to have a little bit more control than that. But it is what it is. Tried to put together a good amount of variety of sounds for you guys as well. So here's my bass dry. Here's it with the Sun amp on. Let's give it a little bit more body. Distortion in there. Add some limiter. Bass cabinet, 215. So here's a little bit of that's EBH, I think it's EBS amps, I guess. But it's a great great smack and pop tone there. Let's hear it with the cabinet. settings. Right, you get all up in there with that, you know. But like I said, you know, this is just a great amp. I mean, see, I'm even calling it an amp. It's a great pedal board, processor there. Bass flat, adding that preamp I like. All right, adding the mark bass. Damn. Add some limiter on there, or the limiter's already on, rather. Add the cabinet emulation. So that's the mark bass with the cabinet, the 2x8 with a tweeter. Hey, that didn't sound too bad there. I like it without, you know, of course I like it with just the mark bass. That head on there, it sounds good. And they only give you the basic, their filters really, which is just the vintage and the shape. And it sounds amazing. So mark bass definitely is a check off on the list. See, did I hit all the amps? I didn't hit the flip top. What's this? A little distortion, overdrive rather. Right, you get a nice. That's a nice little distortion. It's very tube-like and warm. Let's add this tube. Let's get that more into that tube territory with the flip top. Right, with the 115. So as you can see, it's definitely you can get it cleaner than that, of course, you know. If you just bring the gain down on these. Both filters on. And as you know, it's got all the ampeg signature sounds down. They got flip top and SVT sounds down. Between the two, you can get close to the BA ampeg sound. So It's I love this thing, man. You can use it for a lot of different stuff. You got the monotone amp in here. See what that sound like. Right? It's killing. This with my bass sounds. Without it, with it. Alright, see the different modes. Bright mode. Yeah, you can get this joint. You can get this amp to slap too. Yeah, you get a nice dark jazzier sound too in this amp. I hadn't previously liked the mono tone amp on the other stuff, but I like this one. This version is on the money. So yeah, I think that's all the bass amps and a lot of the effects I like in here as well. You get some more stuff like that I don't really use too much, So I'm not going through everything on the pedal, but I just wanted to give you guys a good overview of everything. And if you guys have any additional questions, just let me know down in the comments. Please like, subscribe, and share. If you want more content like that, I need you guys to like and share this video as much as possible so I can get up on that YouTube algorithm and I can keep these videos going for you all. These are not cheap to do. This pedal retails for $450 to $500 depending on where you're looking at it at. So, just keep that in mind as you guys are watching my videos. None of these pedal videos and review videos of any gear is sponsored, all coming out of my pocket. So I would appreciate if you guys, if you want to cash app me, it's Reggie Cash Shine, Reggie Payne Bass. I definitely appreciate it. But we are wrapping this up on the Zoom B6, and I'm the Bass Negus. You can find me at all social media at the Bass Negus, Negus. And this has been another episode of All Bass Creations, Effects, Tutorials, Demos, and Reviews. Please subscribe, like, and share, and comment which setting you like the most, which amp you like the most, which effects you like the most. I look forward to hearing from you guys. All right, peace.